one thing that Hungarians are very excited about is their language. If you ask any Hungarian, it's the hardest language in the world, and they're very proud about that. Hungarian is a very old language. It hasn't really been changed much through time. A lot of the languages that were in the past similar to Hungarian have kind of died out. And the only language that experts say is similar to Hungarian is Finnish, but it's still very different. Hungarian is tough, very difficult. It's difficult for a number of reasons. The grammar is very complicated, and depending on how you say things, you can say something completely different than what you wanted to say. There's not a set word order, so it's very flexible with word order, where you can put the direct object before the noun, you can put it after the noun, you can put adjectives wherever, just depending on what you want to say. To emphasize something, you put it in the beginning of the sentence, so most of the important things are in the beginning part, and all the other details are like at the end. It's pretty different than English, so to be able to kind of think in Hungarian takes a really, really long time, or at least it did for me. I didn't pick that up right away. So in Hungarian, it's called an agglutinated language, which means everything is tacked on to words. So you'll start with a word, you'll have something that maybe comes in front of the word that hits, or that attaches to that, and then you'll have all the prepositions and stuff, all the conjugations after it. So you can start out with a word like this long, and then end up with a word like this long. And so what they taught us is to kind of read a word from backwards to forwards. So that was also really different. You see a word that you think is completely unfamiliar, but then you sort of like break it up and kind of understand it. Sometimes we can have a full sentence in English, but in Hungarian, it's just one word. So to my siblings, in English, that would be one word. In Hungarian, it'd be testvéreimnek. Testvér is sibling. Testvéreim. That aim means they're mine, like my siblings, and then nek at the end means to them. That's a really simple example of that, but so many different possibilities and ways that you can say things as well. Don't beat yourself up if you're having a rough time. Everyone will have a rough time learning Hungarian. Also, speaking is probably the most useful tool. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. You will make them. But the Hungarians are very patient. Again, they know that their language is the hardest in the world. So they're very willing to help you, to correct you, but to do it in a loving manner, and to let you speak. One of the hard things in Hungarian, or at least for me, was when you're speaking to older people or people of authority, you use different conjugations, or conjugate in a different way than you would with other people. Kind of a formalization. And it's really difficult to kind of switch your brain to formalizing someone rather than informalizing someone. But if you go up to anyone and you're formalizing them, they're formalizing you, and you ask, hey, I'm learning this language, can I just use these other conjugations? Can I informalize you? They'll be like, oh yeah, for sure, you can talk to me as if we were friends. And so that was really cool to see. I think Hungarian is the best language.